Hello everyone, and thank you for joining today's edition of Fox Sports. I am Samuel Odi. Lots of action came from the weekend. Club World Cup is up and rolling, and a couple of teams are ready to the Club World Cup. Their FIFA ranking have been getting themselves trashed by teams, just like Auckland from New Zealand. Bayern Munich defeated them 10 goals to 0 in their matchup, and
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
I sincerely apologize for that quick technical break that we had to take. So before we went on that break, lots of teams that made it to the Club World Cup via FIFA ranking haven't been performing based on the ranking that they got from FIFA. Atletico Madrid got trashed 4 goals to 0 by European champions PSG last night. Still, Inter Miami, that also made their way through to the Club World Cup via FIFA ranking, still struggled in their opening game, and then they settled for a goalless draw after losing so many chances. The same thing happened with Auckland from New Zealand. We'll be having all of those conversations and still bringing you updates on highlights from those games that were played last night, and I will be doing that immediately after this break. Stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start, downloading, and stay connected to global television.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Yeah, man, thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Talk Sport on Global Television. Now, let's get right into it. We'll be starting from the home front as always, and we'll start from track field. Nathaniel yearns for more after NCAA win. Nigerian's 400 meters hurdle runner Ezekiel Nathaniel says his best is yet to come, despite shattering the national record 4 times on his way to winning his first ever National Congregate Athletic Association title on Friday. Nathaniel clocked a big personal best of 47.49 seconds in the final to beat Joan Scott in the second with 48.29 seconds, while Cody Blackwood ran 48.66 seconds for the third place. In his final year at NCAA, the Bayero University athlete entered his championship as one of the fastest athletes in the world in the 400 meters hurdle, as the only NCAA athlete to break 48 seconds this year. There have been so many 3 finals where he had run and then broken record. He clocked 47.90 seconds and 47.80 seconds in the heat and final of the Big 12 conference respectively, before running 47.86 seconds in the NCAA semifinals this past weekend. So looking at it now, he has been just like what Usain Bolt during his time as a track field athlete, setting records and breaking them. That has been the trajectory of Ezekiel, and then all of this is in preparation of the Tokyo Championship that will be coming up in September. So all of this other junior competitions are more, and conferences are more like, training sections for them to be able to advance and build more capacity when it comes to time to compete at the world and higher classes. So congratulations to him, and keep waving the green, white, green flag higher in all of the competitions that you'll be facing, Ezekiel Nathaniel. Moving on, Europe under 21 is up and going, and 4 teams qualify for the quarterfinals. At least 4 teams have qualified for the quarterfinals of the ongoing European under 21 Championship in Slovakia. This follows the conclusion of Sunday's Europe under 21 group stage features. Germany and Denmark became the first latest countries to advance to the last 8 stage after recording victories against Czech and Netherlands respectively. Germany defeated Czech Republic 4-2, while Denmark won 2-1 against the Netherlands. Both teams have now joined the likes of Spain and Italy, who have since booked their place in the knockout stages. The remaining 4 teams to join Germany, Denmark, Spain and Italy in the last 8 will be confirmed after the conclusion of the final group stage features later this week on Thursday. The quarterfinal stage will take place on June the 21st and 22nd of June, and only 4 teams would advance to the semi-finals. So moving on now, let's have conversations around Club World Cup, where Messi denied late winner as Inter Miami draw 0-0 with Al Ahly. Lionel Messi and Inter Miami were held to a goalless draw by Egyptian side Al Hilal on Saturday, as FIFA's new 32 teams tournament got off a smooth start in front of thousands of fans in Florida. Messi was denied a storybook stoppage time winner when he saw his curling shot from 20 yards put out off the bar by Mohamed El Shani, as Miami peeled on the pressure in the final minutes of the game. So looking at all of this trajectory now, this two teams actually made it through to the Club World Cup through FIFA ranking. Still, Al Ahly, who were cheered by over 10,000 of their supporters, were left to run the first half penalty from Egypt's international Trezeguet, which was saved by Miami's Argentinian goalkeeper Oscar Oteri. But the Egyptians also thanked another save for denying the second to keep out a header from Maxi Falcom as Miami pushed for 3 points in a Group A clash. Still having conversations around Club World Cup, Bayern Munich beat amateur Auckland City from New Zealand 10-0. Bayern Munich showed no mercy to amateur Auckland City at the Club World Cup this Sunday, beating the Miners from New Zealand 10-0 in their opening game as Jamal Musiala came off the bench to score second half hat-trick. Kingsley Coman, Michael Olise and Thomas Muller all netted twice, while Shaq Boris was a target too for the German champion in the game of Group C, which also features Boca Junior and Benfica. Hurricane started but didn't get on the score sheet before being replaced just after the hour mark by Musiala, who netted his 3 goals in the space of 18 minutes towards the end of the match. So looking at this now is just very interesting on how interesting and intense the competition is getting, starting off well. But these teams from FIFA ranking, it's actually, on second thought, some individuals have said, let champions play only this competition. That's talking about the Club World Cup, because other teams that made it via ranking don't stand a chance most of the time to play these other teams. But this season, we saw this 2024-2025 season, we saw underdogs, quote and unquote, winning trophies in the EPL, in the UEFA Champions League, in the Conference League, and all. We saw even in the Europa, we've seen underdogs, smaller teams that haven't won anything in decades, coming to win. Maybe we might see another upset like that in this Club World Cup, but currently with the current statistics and what we are seeing in the first opening games is not looking that way. But second legs will be played, and then we'll see how these teams will try to bounce back. We'll be going on a quick break, and when we return back, we'll be talking transfers, and then I'll bring you highlights from games that were played over the weekend. Stay with us. Yes, many thanks for staying with us. Now let's get right into transfers, where Ajayi, talking about Sami Ajayi, set to join Hull City on free transfer. Nigerian superstar Sami Ajayi has been in talks, and Hull City are on the verge of signing Super Eagles defender Sami Ajayi. Ajayi is a free agent after leaving Skybet Championship side West Bromwich Albion. The Baggies failed to renew the contract, putting an end to his 6-year association with the club. The centre-back battled with the persistent hamstring injury back last year. It was limited to 15 appearances for his side. Hull City are keen to add in an experienced centre-back to their defence, according to Hull City Daily Mail. To believe Ajayi would be a good addition to the squad. Ajayi appeared in 117 games for Albion and registered 13 goals and 3 assists during his stay over there. Sami Ajayi, we know how crucial he is for the Super Eagles, and also, he has been on this team for over 6 years now, and he's looking for something actually new based on the fact that the contract wasn't renewed by his club side. So let's see how it pans out. Hull City is also a good place that are in the championship in that are in the championship in the English league, which are actually struggling and trying to find themselves into the EPL. With your current setup and having Sami Ajayi being on that back line, I think there will be a specific change and an interesting matchup that will be played if they get to scale through this 2025-2026 season and make it to the EPL. But still, Sami Ajayi has what it takes to, build a team and, support based on his experience that he's had playing in the Spanish league, in the local leagues, and also being in England. So we'll see how all of this will actually pan out for Sami Ajayi. We're wishing him well, and he's still very integral and crucial for the Super Eagles, as we still have a couple of World Cup qualifying games to play, which is a must win. So moving on, talking Club World Cup still, PSG cruised past Atlantico to win the opener. Newly crowned European champions Paris Saint-Germain launched their bid to Club World Cup glory with convincing 4-0 victory over Atlantico Madrid in a staring heat at the Perden Rose Bowl east of Los Angeles. PSG proved too hot to handle for their Spanish opponents in an impressive opening Group B win. Goals from Fabian Ruiz and Sonny and Lee Khan sealed the 3 points for PSG, who delighted a crowd of about 80,000 fans with an adventurous attacking play. The French Giants picked up where they had left off in their 5-0 Champions League final, mauling of Inter Milan for a fortnight earlier, quite quickly settling into the smooth passing game to control the early exchange. And then we all know, arguably, as it stands now, PSG, it's the best club in the world, arguably, because now some persons are saying, if it's Real Madrid in that UEFA Champions League final, that PSG wouldn't have won the match. Now, we all know how difficult Atlantico Madrid is, or how difficult Real Madrid finds it hard to, defeat Atlantico Madrid in La Liga. Now, looking at these two sides now, Atlantico Madrid are a big bone in the neck of Real Madrid. Now, this team that always gives Real Madrid tough time is being flogged 4-0 by PSG. Now, between Real Madrid and Atlantico Madrid, and Real Madrid and PSG, which team is actually stronger? Which team is the best? Which team has the best attacking and defensive setup? Looking at Atlantico Madrid, PSG's setup now, arguably they are the best because they have a very young squad from the defensive end, midfield, and also the attack is very, very brutal because they don't even have a specific man that would we would have to always look for this man. Most of the times, a lot of people think it's Ousmane Dembele that is the go-to man, but sometimes he drops down in the midfield and also creates plays for the left wing and the right wing, and all of these guys know how to find the back of the net. So if PSG, hypothetically speaking now, meets Real Madrid at Club World Cup finals, who do you think would win? I think my money will be on PSG based on their setup, because Real Madrid are going through their own restructuring now, and it's just going to be very crucial for individuals to look at it, because now when these comparisons are being made, people talk about the old Real Madrid, not the current Real Madrid we are seeing now, because Barcelona has dealt with them this past season. Atlantico Madrid gave them their own fair share of trouble. So that is what it is with Real Madrid now. So with the mix of Xavi Alonso being the head coach and also a former player, and also having Trent Alexander on the squad, we'll see what Real Madrid would look like in this period of this Club World Cup, and then we'll know how they'll be able to advance and play better. So we'll just see how all of that pans out. So let's go back and talk transfers a little bit, as Victor Osimhen receives offer to make him the highest paid African footballer. Al Hilal has increased the offer in a desperate attempt to sign Napoli's Victor Osimhen this summer. The figure could make Osimhen the highest earning footballer from Africa, according to Goal. The Saudi Pro League side have tabled a contract of worth an offer worth of 15 million per year without bonuses in a bid to attempt the 26-year-old. Al Hilal already offered to pay Victor Osimhen 30 million per year after they activated his 75 million release clause, but he rejected the offer despite hoping to wrap up the transfer before the Club World Cup. Al Hilal failed to strike a deal. However, it is understood that their interest in the Super Eagles striker remains strong and they will do whatever it takes to sign him. Whereas Mahrez, who plays for Al Hilal, is currently the highest paid African footballer, and also the 34-year-old moved to Saudi Pro League club from Manchester City and earns £1 million per week. So looking at this now, we'll see how well and what Osimhen will be deciding to do at this current situation. Galatasaray now are opening talks to land him, for him to remain in their squad in the Turkish league, but Victor Osimhen hadn't made any comment. Chelsea also are looking at a buy option, a player and a payout option for him from Napoli. Still, those talks are still ongoing. Now, Manchester United have reopened the bid to sign Victor Osimhen. So all of these big teams now are coming back to the table to have a conversation and negotiate and see where this individual will find himself before the end of the summer. So we would see where that will be leading him and what decisions he will take at the long run. But let's move away from football. The BAL competition, that's talking about basketball, African League Season 5 finals were played just over the weekend, and we saw interesting matchups, and it wasn't something short of expectation, you know, and it was very, very exciting. Just this past weekend still, we saw OKC Thunders and Indiana Pacers in the NBA final went head-to-head at the game 5 to know who is going to go 3-2 up in the best of 7 series. So we'll see